Bullets fire straight. And this one went straight into the front left lower side of his neck, essentially exploded his artery, and did not exit out of the back. But that is where a bullet fragment was found. Candace, it came from behind. You haven't been investigating on Elon's platform enough. I can tell you definitively that Charlie's shot did not come from behind.
All right, it's my aim to keep us up to date on this Charlie Kirk psychological operation, and that's exactly what it is. Now Candace Owens just came out and said that Charlie Kirk was indeed shot from the front and that his neck did stop the bullet. Let's check this out.
Can't tell you exactly who the information came from or which parties were involved in giving me this information because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But I can say that I have positively verified something about the injury that Charlie sustained to his neck that I think is going to go a very long way in terms of helping those of us who have been sleuthing, those of us who want answers, those of us who are dedicating our time to this because what we are being told by the authorities beggars belief. As John and Arena Mappin said, it just simply beggars belief.
Speaking of authorities, I don't know why she's wearing a CIA hat. This is kind of strange to me. Sometimes you will see that these people who work for these agencies covertly, actually overtly display an agency logo. So I don't know what's going on here.
We also want to make sure that we are presenting evidence and debunking one another where we can so that all of us can collectively zero in and build upon whatever facts we have in this decentralized investigation. This is about the injury, okay? So Andrew Colvett was, I can tell you, telling the truth in part when he wrote that very long tweet in which he tried to explain why there was no exit wound. Do you recall this? Long story short, he said...
I was going to skip over this part, but I think we need to include it in this video so that we can all refresh our memories on exactly what Andrew Colvett said. Remember, Andrew Colvett is the official spokesperson for TPUSA.
I'm going to read it. I want to address some of the things that the lack of an exit wound, about the lack of an exit wound with Charlie. I'm usually not interested in delving into most of this kind of online chatter, and I apologize if this is somewhat graphic, but in this case, the fact that there wasn't an exit wound is probably another miracle, and I want people to know. I just spoke with the surgeon who worked on Charlie in the hospital. He said the bullet absolutely should have gone through, which is very normal for a high-powered, high-velocity round. I've seen wounds from this caliber many times, and they always just go through everything. This would have taken a moose or two down, an elk, etc., but it didn't go through. Charlie's body stopped it. I mentioned to his doctor that there were dozens of staff, students, and special guests standing directly behind Charlie on the other side of the tent, and he replied, "It was an absolute miracle that someone else didn't get killed. His bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he's like the man of steel. It should have just gone through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him too." In the end, the coroner did find the bullet just beneath the skin. Even in death, Charlie managed to save the lives of those around him. Remarkable, miraculous. Now, keep that up for just a second because it's really around here. His bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he's like the man of steel that we just went, something's not right. Something not right. A lot of stuff's not right. I just don't know why a surgeon would be saying something that actually only the medical examiner, somebody that specializes in forensics, could really contribute. Yes, a surgeon can tell you, or actually any person with common sense can tell you that your bone density is better when you're younger. But this seemed a little bit too performative. Now, I can tell you the part that he is telling the truth about is that Charlie's neck indeed did stop the bullet without question. Okay, and this is going to dispel a lot of theories that are out there. And I'm telling you this 100%. Charlie Kirk was shot from the front, and the bullet did not exit. And at least a fragment of the bullet was recovered from his neck. And I'm going to tell you exactly where it was recovered from. I have fact-checked this information from multiple sources now. I've actually been sitting on this for a little bit over a week. Right around here. So think about almost in line with your shoulder blade right in the center. Now, why is that helpful? Because it gives us a bullet trajectory, okay? We went in here where you saw that, and it was stopped, and a fragment was pulled from, think right, if you're just touching your spine in line with your shoulder blade.
It seems to me that this causes another problem because the hole that appeared on the videos that we've seen does not look like an entry wound. When a bullet, whatever caliber you're talking about, 5.56, 223, 9mm, whatever goes in there, does not really make that big of a hole. So what could have caused that kind of hole? And if the shot did come from the front and did cause that kind of hole, number one, what caliber of bullet did that? What was it shot from? Who shot it? What direction? And how did the back of the neck stop that bullet? What are we looking at here?
That leads us, obviously.
Because she's saying that he was shot with a bullet because the bullet or the bullet fragments were found inside of Charlie.
To the part that he's maybe not being forthcoming about. They did not recover a bullet from a 30-06. They didn't recover a bullet from a 30-06. It just didn't happen, okay? If they had found a 30-06 bullet, Charlie's death certificate certainly would have reflected that. In suicide situations, as just one example, medical examiners, feel free to chime in. I've spoken to quite a few. But when the gun and the bullet are known, they are reflected onto the death certificate, okay? There is not one reflected onto Charlie Kirk's death certificate because they did not recover a bullet from a 30-06.
So it sounds like we have Candace Owens, who claims to have taken a look at the death certificate. We had yesterday, the video that I did yesterday, we have Brandon Tatum claiming that he took a look at least a copy of the death certificate, or he has information about somebody who's seen the death certificate. And nobody's talking about what caliber of bullet they found inside Charlie.
Doctors and military men rejoice. It turns out that common sense still rules the roost, okay? You guys were right. You were absolutely right. And this is why I hate politics, because it requires us to submit to the idea that we were all somehow born yesterday. That it really can just, life really can just be a Marvel comic with people that are, I guess, a DC comic where there are men of steel that are able, because they're young, to stop 3,000 pounds of energy that is coming at them. That didn't happen. So where does that leave us, guys? Well, the part that is now extraordinarily suspicious is that Andrew is claiming that he had a conversation with the surgeon who offered up the idea that it really was just your modern Christian miracle, that Charlie was just young and his bones had a lot of density, which made him stronger somehow than a Cape Buffalo, enough push-ups and asparagus, and you too can stop 3,000 pounds of energy coming at you. What are we to make of that? What are we to make of the fact that Charlie did not do that, actually? It means that he was shot with a completely different kind of gun, obviously, okay? The kind where this would make sense, that it didn't cut through him. The kind where it would make sense that outside of an artery effectively exploding from the front, there was, his neck didn't explode, which that particular weapon that they were trying to tell us Charlie was killed with would have gone through about 7 necks, okay?
In another part of this video, at the 28-minute and 49-second timestamp, Candace is very clear about what she says the autopsy says the bullet did inside of Charlie Kirk.
Information that I am telling you, okay, that unless we have a bullet that's doing the worm like a WWE wrestler, okay, bullets fire straight. And this one went straight into the front left lower side of his neck, essentially exploded his artery, and did not exit out of the back. But that is where a bullet fragment was found. So map it out for us.
She talks about other things in this live stream, but I just want to hone in this video on what the autopsy says, or what she says the autopsy says. At the end of her show, when she's taking comments, a guy questions her about what she said and insists that the bullet came from behind.
Candace, it came from behind. You haven't been investigating on Elon's platform enough. I can tell you definitively, that Charlie's shot did not come from behind. You take that or leave that. You can still go down that narrative. You can think that you saw that. I'm not saying that a shot wasn't fired from behind. I'm not saying that. Like I said, I've given you my theory. I think there's two shooters. The entry wound is what is on the front. The bullet did not exit. You are looking for a smaller gun altogether, which is how these operations have to work. You got to have multiple things going on. It's designed to drive you crazy. And that is why I'm trying to focus investigations. And, I hope you guys trust me enough to know that I went through great hoops, I had to confirm it the right way. And I did not trust the feds.
She just leaves it at that. So Brandon Tatum's assertion, based on what he says he saw from the autopsy. Now Candace Owens is saying that what she said based on the autopsy is that there was one entry wound and that the bullet did not exit, but was found in Charlie Kirk's body. I want to hear what you guys have to say, because there's a lot of people out there with a lot of different theories. And frankly, none of us have seen the autopsy. And when we do see it, do you think that we can trust it? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. If you want to support this channel, you can do it for free. Just like this video, share this video with everybody you know, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification icon. I intend to stay on this because I do want to find out the truth about what happened to Charlie Kirk, who murdered Charlie Kirk, because we all know, at least in part, why this happened, so they can conduct these psychological operations and further solidify people in this left versus right paradigm divide that's destroying us. I will see you in the next video.